Okay, welcome to a quick lesson on starting off with Gdevelop, a graphical games programming language. So once we've opened up Gdevelop, we're going to do create a new project, and it gives us a whole load of examples, tutorials and a showcase of games that have been made in Gdevelop. But we're going to go to starters and we're going to pick an empty game. So we're going to start from scratch. So click empty game, and when we click empty game we will get this screen opened here. So the first thing we need to do is add a new scene. So we click the plus sign and it'll add a new scene for us. New scene. First thing to do is click these three buttons and click rename, and I'm going to call it level 1. And once we've done that, we click on the main screen here. If we click the level first, we start off with this screen. So this is the project manager tab. That's quite an important tab. So we click on this and it opens up everything that we need to do. So when we want to change levels, make new levels, we'll come back here. So we click level, we go to project manager, we click level 1, we get given this screen. This is the game area, this black box here. So if I right click and do scene properties, we'll stick with all these for now. We'll add in all new features later on. If we click this box here, we can pick a color of the background. So I'm going to click there. I'm not going to mess about too much of this to save time. I'm going to click OK, and that's the color of my game. Don't worry about the area outside of the box, we won't see that. So this is going to be the background. So I did that by right clicking, scene properties, changing to the color I wanted, clicking the color I wanted, and then clicking OK. So the next thing we're probably going to need to do is to add in a character. So we can do add a new object, the plus sign here, and we'll click sprite. We'll give it a name. I'm going to call it player, and then add animation. This is an optional name. We'll come to these later on. If I click if I click edit with Pascal, it'll open up a new box like this, and this is like a pixel animator. So Gdevelop is all open source, and they're using an open source Gdeveloper. If we use the mouse button, we can scroll in and out. So this is 64 pixels by 64 pixels, which is all we need. So I'm going to click on the left, the color tab here, and change to a different color. And then I'm going to click the paint bucket tool and change it to purple. So what I did there, I just clicked the paint bucket tool, picked a color, and then changed the color, dropped the color into there. Next thing I need to do is change to a new color. So I'm going to go white, and then I'm going to click the rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw in a square, and then I'm just gonna I can fill it white. So we've done that. If you can just copy what I've done there, purple square, rectangle in white. The next thing we'll do is we'll use the pen tool, and I'm going to pick black, and I'm going to pick a larger pixel here, and I'm just going to draw 2 eyes on our character. Simple as that. Once I've done that, I'll click save. Don't worry if yours don't look exactly like this, we're just rushing through this. So click save and click apply, and we can drag our player onto the screen. The next thing we need to do is add a new object, which will be the ground. So we click add a new object. I'm going to pick a tiled sprite. I'm going to give it an object name. I'm going to call it the ground. You can call it platform, call it whatever we like. Create. When I click create, it opens up this box underneath. Again, edit with Piskel, and this box will open up. And this time I'm going to change it to a platform. So I'm going to change this to 100, and I'm going to try this at 42. We can rescale within the game, and you have to make sure you click resize, and then using the mouse wheel, I can scroll in and out. So I'm going to change the color of this to green. I'm going to fill it with this color. Then I'm going to add a new color, perhaps a darker color green, and then pick the pen tool, and I'm just going to put some dots in. These ideas have come from somebody on YouTube that I watch called Sparckman. He's really good at graphics and stuff. He says he's not a graphics editor, but he is very good at what he comes up with. So I'm going to click save now that I've put those features in. And you can be as imaginative as you like with these. Click save, I click apply, and I've now got a platform. And then I can drag the platform out. There's a play button in the game here, and if you press play, it opens up the game, but it doesn't do anything yet. We haven't picked anything for these characters. We haven't said what these characters are. So if we right click the ground and we do edit object, and we can go to we've got properties which we've been working in. We can actually go to behaviors and add a behavior. So behaviors, add a behavior, and this is going to be a platform. We click apply, and when the object falls on this, it'll stop. If we click player, right click, edit object, again go to behaviors here, add the behavior we want, and this is going to be a platform character. And there's lots of things we can do. We're not going to adjust any of these at the moment, but we can adjust the gravity, the jump speed, the ladder climbing speed. There's lots of things that we can change here, but we'll leave these as the defaults for now. You can come back any time and change these. So we click apply, and now if you press the play button on the game, you'll see the character drops. This opens up on another screen for me. You see the character drops onto the screen, and we can go left and right. And if he falls off the screen, he'll fall forever. So we'll end his torment, and we'll end the screen here. Okay, so there's the first principles of the game done. And if we use those wheel and scroll out a bit, we can add some more ground in. So we can perhaps put a ledge in. I can drag another piece of ground there and just leave it as an object in the way. And as I keep scrolling out, I can change these things. So let's put some, I'm just going to put a little bit more ground in just for the next part of this exercise. And again, we can come back and adjust any of these at any time. I can keep scrolling out. If I scroll in, I keep getting stuck on this area here. But what I can do is around the perimeter, we got these dots. If I drag this dot, I can focus in on a different piece of the game. So we move this to concentrate where we are. This box just signifies the play area and where we are within the game. So I've created some ledges, and we'll try the game now. And as you can see, when he moves, he hits the ledge, he has to jump the spacebar over it, but the camera isn't following our player. So this is where we're going to do our very first condition. So to do that, we need to go into the events editor, and this is our first event. So we got the buttons up here where we can do add a new event, add an empty new event. So I click that and it's done, add a condition. And what we need to do is we can do conditions and objects. We're going to click cancel for a second. We don't want to add a condition, we want to add an action, and the action is going to be other actions. And we've got layers, we've got millions of stuff here which we'll pick up as these lessons progress. So we've got layers and cameras, and we're going to center the camera on an object. So we center the camera on the object, and what object do we want? Player. And then all we have to do then is click OK. And we've got a new action. It's not a condition yet, it's just an action. So if we play the game now, we can see that as we move along, okay, so we can't jump up onto there, so we're a bit stuck with the game, but you can see he's going along with us. So coming back to the level 1, I know that that's too high, I can drop it down. We can fiddle with these and get them working the way we want. So that's the first part of the game. I don't like that box there, I'll put it there instead. That's the first part of the game, the events, and there's a lot more we can do now with conditions and events. So one thing we can do is when our character's moving, we can do it so that it will flip him horizontally so that he can go in the direction that he's playing in. So I'm going to add in a new event. I'm going to do an add a condition, and this will be other conditions, and it's going to be on the keyboard, and it's going to be when a key is pressed, it's going to ask me what key. I'm going to say left. We want something to happen. So when the left key is pressed, that's the condition. What action do we want to happen? We can add an action on the player. So we click the player, and then we've got all of these. We've got thousands of actions we can do. For this one, where you can type in, I want to flip horizontally, so I can type in flip and it'll find it for me there, which is good. But also, if I scroll down, there's tons of stuff here which we're going to learn to use. But under the effects bit, there's flip horizontally. So if I flip horizontally, and I'll just say yes, and I click OK. So if we play the game now, when I press right, it should go that way. When I press left, he should flip the other way, and he does. But of course, when I press the right key, he doesn't flip anymore. So, and I'll need to add in a new condition. So click in, add a new event, add a new condition in, and other conditions, it's the same thing, keyboard, when a key is pressed, when the right key is pressed, we click OK, and I add an action, and it's going to be the player, scroll down to flip horizontally, and I'm going to say no this time. I'm not going to flip it. It's going to go back to its standard state. So I click OK, and now when I press play the game, hopefully left and right. So our character can now move along the screen, and that's pretty much it for now. Of course we're stuck and we're going to fall forever, but the camera will pan with us. I just realised I played that on the screen where you can't see it, so I'll do it again. When we press left and right, you can see what's happening there. and we can keep going along. And because the camera pans of us, we can keep falling forevermore. So forgot to show you the screen, I just spoke about it, but there's the basic fundamentals of a game. We need to make these new conditions, okay? This is one condition, this is another one. We will start merging conditions, but they are all when one thing happens and we want 2 or 3 things to happen as a result of that one thing. So that's the basic fundamentals. So let's put a collision in. So if I go back to my level, I'm going to add a new object in. I'm going to make it a sprite. I'm going to call it no gaps. I'm going to call it next level. And I'm going to add an animation. Edit with Piskel. And I'm going to keep this size, but I'm going to scroll wheel out a bit. And I'm going to just draw a star. Not the best star, but it'll do. I'm going to put some... Okay, there's a star. I'm going to change the background to yellow, and there's a star. What I can do, if I click here, I can do duplicate the frame, and in this frame I'll change the color to, I'll just pick that for a second, and it changes, and you can see that he color changes between the two. So if I click save and I click loop, I can test my animation. You can see that he's flashing, so that'll do. We'll click OK and apply. So we've got a new object called next level. So I'll scroll across our map. We'll put it here. So when we go to play our game now, I'll quickly run along. There's our character, but nothing happens when I crash into him. So we need to add some new events and new conditions. So we need to go to our events editor, and we can do add a new event, and we can do add a condition, and we can do the player, and then we need to look for collision. So when the player is in collision with the next level, that's what we need. So the player is in collision with the next level, we need to add in an action. And what will that action be? So other actions, because it's not going to happen on any of these objects. So other actions, and we have to look through and it can be anything that we want. It could even be go to the shop or buy something. So we're definitely gonna be playing with variables soon and timers. So we go to scene and change the scene, but we've got nothing to change the scene to. So we could start it again. So we level 1 and then we click OK. So if I play the game now, let's see what happens. I haven't tried it in this form before. He comes along. We could change the speed, there he goes. And we start again. So we start the level again. So that could be end of a life or something. But we don't want to do that. We want to copy and redo the whole thing. So let's go to the project manager. And we've got level 1. If I click here, I can click duplicate. Then I click there again. We can't right click, unfortunately, and I can do rename, and I'll change it to level 2. Back to this editor. I want to move it down, Okay, and now if I click level 2, you see we've got level 1 here and we've got level 2 here. What I'm going to do, and we can change the map to be whatever we want it to be after this point. So I'm on the level 2 editor. I can drag in some more ground, and we can use the dot over here. We can move this, and we can move the star over here. Okay, and when we go to our level 2 events, we see everything's been copied apart from when the player's in collision with next level. I want to change it to, it's got to be in the commas, level 2. And now when I play the game, we're on level 2, so I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to click level 1, play the game again. So we started on level 1. We go along, and as soon as we collide with this star, it takes us to, okay, it's taken us to the same one again. Something's gone wrong. I know what that is. We needed to go to level 1 events and change the scene to level 2, and then click OK. And then on level 2, we probably need to go to events and change it to level 1. Bit of a mistake on my part, but no harm done. Also, what I can do, I'll edit the scene properties on level 2, and I'll change it to a more orangey colour, so we know where we are. And we can also add a new object in, and it can be text, and I can type in level 2, and I can have it bold, and I can click apply, and then using the dot I'll move to the start of the game, and I should rename that level 2 text, and if I drag that, it'll be there. So if I now go to level 1, play the game, we've got started on level 1, we'll move along. I'll hit this, I'll collide with this object, and as you could see, we had the level 2 pop into the top of the screen there, but it was out of the play area, and we're going to fix that next. We're going to change the way the camera pans around there. So level 2 goes, but if you notice, level 2 is not staying with us. We would like it to, so we'll change that in the next lesson. And so there's an introduction to a very quick, simple game, platforms, movements, and a few events. I hope you found that useful, and that's a recap of what we did in the lesson. Thank you.